Hi, and welcome to your Hive Soul yoga class. Let's begin. Come to a comfortable seated position with your legs crossed or out in front of you. Allow the crown of your head to reach up towards the ceiling, letting your shoulders feel heavy. Go ahead and separate your back teeth to release any tension you may be holding in the jaw. And bring your gaze down to rest on something still in front of you, or perhaps you close your eyes if that feels comfortable for you. And from here, we bring our awareness to the breath. Spend a few rounds of breath just observing the air as it moves through your nose and your lungs and back out again. A couple more rounds of breath right here. And from here, perhaps you begin to deepen the breath, slowly lengthening the inhale and the exhale. Maybe you begin to cultivate a sound in the back of the throat to help further ground you. About 3 more rounds of breath, just like this. Last breath here. And from here, I invite you to think of a word or phrase that can serve as your intention for our practice. Think about what you have going on in your life, and let your intention be whatever you need in this moment. Once you've identified your intention, on your next inhale, I want you to imagine you're breathing it in, filling up your nose, your lungs with your intention. And as you exhale through the mouth, release any tension or obstacles between you and that intention. Twice more like that, taking a big breath in through the nose to fill yourself up with what you need. Exhaling whatever gets in the way. Last time, right here. Breathing in and letting it go. From here, return to your regular breathing, and let's get into some movement. If your eyes were closed, I invite you to gently open them as we begin with some neck rolls, bringing our right ear to our right shoulder, chin down to our chest, and slowly rolling the neck around. For 2 more rotations in this direction. And as you feel ready, begin to reverse directions. We hold so much tension in our neck and shoulders. I invite you to do this at any point throughout the day. And when you feel complete, find some stillness and bring your gaze back up to center. As we get into some shoulder rolls, bring our shoulders up and back towards the wall behind us, exploring the full range of motion of the shoulders. And from here, we reverse directions, bringing your shoulders up and towards the front of the room for 2 more rounds right here. And now we find some stillness in the shoulders and continue with our shoulder opening stretches. We inhale to reach both arms up overhead. We look up to see the palms touch. And we exhale to interlace our fingers and flip our palms up towards the ceiling. If this is a little too much sensation for you, feel free to separate your hands. And keeping our hips rooted down, let's lean over to the right. Trying to rotate that left armpit up and open towards the sky. We inhale to come back through center, and we exhale in the opposite direction. Being mindful to keep the hips rooted on the ground. Let's do a few more of those. Inhaling to center, exhaling to the right. Inhale to center, exhale to the left. One more round like that. Inhaling center. Exhaling to stretch to the right. Inhale center. Stretch to the left. Great work. Let's inhale center. And this time we're going to exhale and press our palms towards the wall in front of us, rounding the back, bringing the chin towards the chest. We inhale to lift our arms up, lift our heads up, and reach our palms high. Twice more like that. We're rounding the back, pressing the palms towards the front of the room. And we're inhaling to reach up to the sky. Last time here. Exhale to round. Inhaling to reach the arms back up. From here, we're going to separate our hands and bring our arms out to either side of us, making a little T. And let's bring our right arm over, right arm under. Stretching out the pectoral muscles here. Swinging our arms from side to side. And the next time the right arm comes across the body, let the left arm catch it. If this feels a little bit tricky for you, you can also just give yourself a hug. Let's hang out right here in the shoulder stretch for 3, 2, 1. We release, right arm over, right arm under for a few more rounds, swinging the arms. And then the next time your left arm crosses your body, let the right arm catch it. Trying to keep your torso still and at the center so the stretch comes from the outer shoulder for 3, 2, 1. Great work. Let's release our arms back out from side to side like we're making a T. And from here, we bring our right hand down to the ground beside us. We reach our left arm up and over to the right, thinking about rotating our armpit up and open towards the ceiling. Trying to keep our hips rooted on the ground here as we reach to the right. Allow your next inhale to pull you back up to center. And exhale, bringing the opposite hand down and reaching in the opposite direction. Let that inhale pull you up. And do 3 more rounds flowing with your own breath. Going as fast or as slowly as you'd like. As we stretch out our obliques. Finishing up the last time as you feel ready. From here, we're going to release both arms straight up to the ceiling. And come into a twist. First, bringing our right hand to the ground behind us. Let our left hand find our right knee. Inhale to lift the heart up. And exhale to twist back towards the wall behind you. Staying here for 3, 2, 1. We inhale to release both arms back up through center. And we exhale to switch sides. Left hand comes behind us, right hand to left knee. Inhale the heart up. Exhale to rotate towards the wall behind you for 3, 2, 1. Let's inhale to release both of our arms straight up to the ceiling again. For our final shoulder openers here, let's bring our palms to touch at heart center and then zip our forearms together, preparing for eagle arms. This might be enough sensation for you. Or maybe you keep your right arm where it is and wrap your left arm underneath it. When you feel good there, go ahead and lift your elbows a teeny bit if you can, exploring the sensation in the back of the shoulders. For 3, 2, 1. Let's release that, unwind, shake it out a little bit, and then switch sides, either bringing the palms to touch and zipping the forearms together again, or keeping the left arm where it is and wrapping the right arm underneath it. And wherever you're at, maybe you give the shoulders or the elbows a little lift if you can. Yes, right here for 3, 2, 1. Let's unwind and shake the shoulders out. And from here, we're going to make our way to tabletop pose. So we're on our hands and knees. In tabletop pose, our shoulders are over our wrists, our hips are over our knees, and our knees and feet are torsos or hips length apart. We begin by doing a few rounds of cat-cow, inhaling to press the palms into the ground, reaching the heart forward, exhaling to round the back, bringing the chin towards the chest. Do 3 more rounds of cat-cow, flowing with your breath. And if you want to take any spontaneous movements here, maybe rotating the spine in one direction and then making circles in the other. Feel free. Finding your way back to stillness here. And now we're going to add a little bit of movement. Let's send our left leg straight out behind us. First, we bring the ball of our left foot down to the ground and start to press our left heel down to the ground, exploring the sensation that creates in the hamstrings. And as we're ready, we lift our left foot back up, keeping the foot flexed as though you're trying to step on the wall behind you. And maybe you stay here, or if you'd like a little bit more sensation, perhaps you reach your right arm in front of you for balancing table. Make sure you don't sink down into the left shoulder. Stay nice and firm right here. And we're breathing in balancing table for 3, 2, 1. Great work. Release the palm and knee back down to the mat. And switch sides. We extend our right leg straight out behind us. And again, let the ball of the foot find the mat and press the heel down to the ground, exploring the sensation in this hamstring. You might notice that one side's a little bit tighter than the other, and that's okay. Honor whatever this side is telling you as we lift our foot back up and prepare for balancing table. So again, you can stay right here, or if you'd like to, maybe you extend the left arm out in front of you, pressing down through the ground with the right hand, reaching for 3, 2, 1. Plant the palm, plant the knee, and shake it out. Great work. We're going to add on a little bit here. So again, we send our left leg straight behind us. Maybe we reach the right arm in front of us. And we have options here. We can either play with trying to extend the right arm in front of us, or if we have balancing table, maybe we inhale the elbow towards the knee and round the back. Exhaling to send the arm and leg back out. 3 more like that. Inhaling and exhaling. Last 2. Great work. Last 1. Beautiful. From here, we plant the palm and the knee, and we switch sides. Again, we send the right leg straight out behind us, like we're trying to flex the foot. And then we send our left arm out in front of us. And you know your options. You can either stay right here, playing with balancing table, or perhaps you inhale the elbow towards the knee and exhale it out. 3 more, just like that. Inhaling elbow towards knee, exhaling it out. Making sure we're moving with the breath as we inhale and exhale. Last time, inhaling elbow towards the knee, exhale it out. Great work. And we're going to build on from right here. So again, we send our left leg straight out behind us. This time, we bend our knee and step the foot between the hands. Allow your inhale to lift up your arms and your torso, reaching towards the ceiling for a low lunge. If you'd like, you can shift the hips forward and the heart up and back a little bit for a little heart opener. If you do so, allow your next inhale to pull you back up through center. As we prepare to add on a variation here, let's clasp our hands down at our low back behind us. Or if you can't reach your hands, just reaching the arms behind you is a perfect modification. Allow your next inhale to lift your heart up towards the ceiling. And we exhale to fold over our bent knee, reaching our arms up as high as is comfortable for us. For 3, 2, 1. Release the clasp and rise with your next inhale, reaching both arms back up towards the ceiling. And from here we find a twist. Let's exhale to fold forward and frame our front foot. Allow your next inhale to float the left arm up and open towards the ceiling before planting that hand back down and inhaling to lift both arms up again. We exhale to fold forward, framing the front foot, and we slide the heel back, preparing to switch sides. Next, we send our right leg straight out behind us. We bend the knee and step the foot between our hands again, inhaling to your low lunge. We reach both arms up again, taking the heart opener variation if that felt comfortable for you. And we prepare for the humble variation, clasping our hands at our low back on the inhale. Exhaling to fold forward. For 3, 2, 1. We release the clasp and rise back up through our square lunge. One more variation. We fold forward here, framing our front foot. And we find our twist on the opposite side, reaching the right arm high and open. Great work. Let's release that hand back down to the ground. Inhaling, we lift both arms up. Exhaling, we fold forward, framing the front foot, slide the heel back. Great work. From here, we engage our toes with the mat, lift our hips up and back, and find our first downward dog. Now in downward dog, your body's making the shape of an upside down V. Your knees can be bent. It's totally fine if your heels aren't touching the mat. Your feet should be about 1 foot's length distance apart. You can spin one heel in to see if you're there. Think about pressing your heart down towards the ground and making space for the ears, moving the shoulders down the back. From here, let's lift and plant 1 foot at a time, bending the knees, starting to stretch out the hamstrings. A couple more rounds right here. From here, let's find some stillness and come into a hip opener. Allow your next inhale to reach your right foot up and back. And with the exhale, bring the right foot towards the wall behind you, opening the hip as far as is comfortable for you for 3, 2, 1. On your next inhale, straighten it out and plant it back down on the mat. And we switch sides. Inhale the left leg up. And exhale to bend the knee and roll that hip open, honoring what the left side has to say. For 3, 2, 1. Inhale to straighten it out and bring the foot back down to the mat. From our downward dog, we bend our knees, come to the balls of our feet. And next, we walk our feet to meet our hands at the top of the mat, so we're standing in a forward fold. On your next inhale, bring your hands to your shins and lift your heart towards the front of the room, flat back. Exhaling, we fold. Let's do 2 more like that. Inhaling, hands to shins, heart lifts. Exhaling, we fold. Last time, inhale, hands to shins, heart lifts. Exhaling, we fold. On our next inhale, we rise up, reaching our arms up towards the ceiling. We look up to see our palms touch, and we start our half sunnays as we fold forward, leading with the heart. Inhaling, hands to shins, coming into our flat back. Exhaling, we fold. Inhaling, we rise back up through standing. For another half sun A, see your palms touch, and exhale to fold forward, leading with your heart. Inhaling, hands to shins, heart lifts. Exhaling, we fold. Great work. One more time. We inhale all the way up to standing. Look up and see the palms touch. And exhaling, we fold forward. Inhale to your flat back, hands to shins or by the pinky edge of the foot. Exhaling, we fold. Next, we bend our knees, plant our fingertips, and step our left foot back for a lunge. If this feels like a little too much sensation for you, feel free to drop the knee down to the mat and return to the square lunge we did first. If you'd like to add a twist here, you plant the left hand and inhale to reach the right arm up and open towards the sky. Exhaling, we look down, reframe that front foot. Bend into the back knee and step the left foot back to the right at the top of your mat into a forward fold. Let's inhale to find our flat back again, hands to shins. Exhaling, we fold. We plant our fingertips and step our right foot back for a lunge. Again, knowing that you have the option to drop the back knee down. And if you took a twist on the opposite side, let's do it again, planting the right hand, inhaling the left arm up and open. Beautiful. Let's look down to frame that front foot. Bend into the back knee and step back to the top of the mat. Inhale, hands to shins, heart lifts, flat back. Exhaling, we fold. Let's inhale to rise all the way up through standing. We look up to see our palms touch, and we fold forward. Inhaling, our hands find our shins, find a flat back. Exhaling, we fold. From here, we bend our knees, plant our palms, and step back to plank pose. If you'd like, you of course have the option to drop the knees down and have the arms engaged. Or if you'd like to be in full plank, we're firming the biceps in towards the body, engaging the abdominals, driving back through the heels of the feet. And wherever you're at, let's breathe right here for 5. Engaging that core for 4, 3, 2, 1. Now let's drop our knees down together and lower all the way down to the mat. Inhaling, we find our cobra pose, planting our palms underneath our shoulders. We lift our chest up. Exhaling, we lower down, pressing through tabletop, back to downward dog. And from here, let's take 4 breaths in our downward dog, reconnecting with our breath and our intention. If you'd like, you could also take child's pose here, resting there for as long as feels comfortable to you. You can continue this breathing break for as long as you'd like, and when you're ready, let your inhale pull you back to your downward dog if you were in child's pose. If you're already in downward dog, we bend our knees, look between our hands, and step or lightly hop to the top of our mat. Inhale to your flat back. Exhaling, we fold. Inhale to rise up through standing. And again, we're going to put it all together. We look up to see the palms touch, exhaling to fold forward. Inhale to your flat back, hands to shins, heart lifts. Exhaling, we fold forward, planting the palms and stepping back to plank pose. From plank pose, you can drop the knees down and lower to cobra, or take chaturanga if that's in your practice. Inhaling to the back bend of your choice, either cobra or upward dog. Exhaling right back to your downward facing dog. We're going to take another 4 breaths in your downward dog here. Now that pose that we just did, the moves where we step back to plank pose, lower down to our bellies, and lift up into a back bend is called a vinyasa. We're going to do that a lot, but if you ever want to skip a vinyasa, feel free. You do not have to take every single push-up in this class to get a good workout. Finishing up our last round of breath right here before looking between our hands, bending our knees and making our way back to the top of our mat, however feels good for you. From the top of the mat, we inhale to find our flat back. Exhaling, we fold. And let's take ragdoll for a moment here. So we heel toe the feet apart. We bring opposite hand to opposite elbow. And we lean forward, shaking our heads from side to side and swaying from side to side. Just releasing the hamstrings and any tension you might be holding in the neck and shoulders. When you feel complete, release your hands down and heel toe your feet back together, finding some stillness. As we come in to chair pose. So for chair pose, you want your big toes to be kind of towards one another, your heels to be separate, like there's a slice of pizza there. And as you feel ready, you bend into the knees and lift the arms up, sinking the hips low, keeping the torso high. Now, in Hive Soul Yoga, in chair pose, we like to flex on them. So we inhale to pull down and make some muscles. And we exhale to send both arms back up. Keep those knees bent. Give me 2 more. Inhaling, pull down, make some muscles. Exhale to send both arms up. Last time, pull down and flex on them. You got some options right here. You can hulk it. You can throw up one arm and then another. Beautiful. Send both arms straight up for our last chair pose. Hanging right here for 3, 2, 2.5, 2.25. All right, 1. We stand all the way up and shake out our burning legs. and fold forward. Inhaling, hands to shins, heart lifts. Exhaling, we fold. From here, we bend our knees, plant our palms, and step back to plank pose, either lowering through our vinyasa of choice or not, or maybe you step right back to your downward dog. Whatever works for you. And from our downward dog, we're going to play with Warrior One. Allow your next inhale to float your right foot up off the mat. Bend your knee, step your foot towards your right thumb, and then we plant the left heel and rise up, bending into the front knee for Warrior One. In Warrior One, we're aiming for a 90-degree angle in the knee. It's okay if you don't get there. You should be able to see your front big toe. Our arms are extended high towards the sky, but our shoulders are relaxed. And actually, let's just check in with our hip placement. We bring our hands to our hips, make sure we're orienting them towards the front of our mat. Once you feel settled in your alignment, go ahead and lift both arms right back up. And we're going to pulse it 3 times here. We inhale to straighten the front leg. Exhaling, we bend. Twice more, inhaling to straighten. Exhale to bend, watching that front knee. Last time, inhale to straighten. Exhale to bend. And from here, we hold it for 3, 2, 1. Let's look down and frame the front foot with the hands, stepping back to plank pose. And either lowering down through your vinyasa, finding the back bend of your choice, or making your way straight back to downward dog for the second side. As we're ready, we inhale the left foot up off the mat. We bend the knee and step the foot next to the left thumb, plant the back heel, and rise up. Again, we check in with our alignment, bending into the front knee, trying to stack the knee over the ankle. You can bring the hands to the hips again here, orienting them towards the front of the room. And as you feel ready, extend your arms up towards the ceiling, keeping the shoulders relaxed and away from the ears. And you know where we're going on this side. We're going to pulse it. So we inhale to straighten that front leg. Yes. Exhaling to rebend. Last 2, inhaling to straighten. Exhale to bend. Last time, inhale to straighten. Exhale to bend. And we hold it here for 3, 2, 1. Great work. Let's look down. Frame the front foot. Step back to plank pose. And you either lower down to the mat however you'd like, finding the back bend that suits you, or meeting us back in your downward dog. From downward dog, we're going to take 4 breaths right here. Also a moment for you to stop and take child's pose. You can take child's pose whenever you'd like. You also have the option, if you're taking child's pose, of stacking one fist on top of the other to create a little more space. If you were in child's pose, feel free to make your way back to downward dog at your own time. From downward dog, we bend our knees, look between our hands, and make our way back to the top of the mat. Inhaling to find your flat back. Exhaling, we fold. From here, we make our way back to chair pose. We sink our hips low and lift our arms up overhead. Chair pose. And we're going to come into 4 rounds of dancing chair. So we inhale the arms back behind us. We exhale to sink the knees low and send the arms forward. 3 more, back behind us. Inhale the arms forward. Last 2. Looking great. Last 1. And from here, we fold forward, shaking out our burning legs. Inhale to find your flat back. And exhale, making your way back to downward dog, however your body wants to. Either moving through your vinyasa or stepping right back to it. Once we're all in downward dog, we're going to add it together. So we inhale the right leg up off the mat. We bend the knee, step the foot towards the right thumb, planting that back heel and rising towards warrior one. We're going to add a little variation here, keeping the bend in the front knee. We're going to clasp our hands at our low back for humble warrior. Inhaling to lift the heart. Exhaling to fold over our bent knee. Beautiful. As we're ready, we release the clasped hands and rise back up to warrior one. We exhale to fold forward and frame our front foot, stepping back to plank pose, moving through our vinyasa. Making our way back to downward dog. And once in downward dog, we inhale to lift the left foot up off of the mat. Bending the knee, we step the left foot towards the left thumb and rise up to warrior one. Getting ready for the humble variation on this side, we clasp our hands at our low back, inhaling to lift the heart towards the ceiling, exhaling to fold forward. Next, we release our clasped hands and rise back up, exhaling to fold forward and frame the front foot, stepping back to plank pose, lowering down through your vinyasa. Rising to the back bend of your choosing, exhaling back to downward facing dog. And let's take 5 breaths right here in our downward dog. Again, with the option of taking child's pose. You could also have your hands alongside the body, taking the embryo variation of child's pose, if that works for you. Last couple of breaths. From here, we bend our knees if we're in downward dog. Make your way there at your own pace if you're in child's pose. From downward dog, we bend our knees, look between our hands, and step or hop to the top of the mat. Inhaling, hands to shins, heart lifts. Exhaling, we fold forward, dangling in front of our legs. Inhaling, we rise up all the way through standing. Look up to see your palms touch. And we exhale to fold forward, leading with the heart. Inhaling, hands to shins for our back bend. Exhaling, we bend the knees, plant the palms, and step back to plank pose. Either dropping our knees down or lowering down through chaturanga. Inhaling to cobra, pressing into the palms, just lifting the heart, or into upward facing dog. And let that exhale pull you back to your downward facing dog. And actually, we're just going to take a moment in child's pose for all of us, just in case you held your downward dog before. And this time, I want you to really intentionally reconnect with the word or phrase that you chose as your intention. And check in with your self-talk. Notice if you're holding on to any negativity or judgments about your body. Knowing that we can't be judgmental of our bodies and present in them at the same time. Last couple of breaths right here. Or taking this opportunity for a water break if that feels good for you. And as we're ready, we're going to inhale to tabletop pose, spin our legs around in front of us and plant our feet because it is core o'clock. Core time is our favorite time over here at Hive Soul Yoga. And so we start with our half boat pose variations. So our feet are planted. We make sure our hearts are lifted up here so we're not rounding through the back, taking any of the weight off of the abs. And from here, we start to lean back, extending our arms out to either side of our legs. Don't feel the need to go back too far, because the farther back you go, the trickier it's going to get. And from here, let's start by just lifting our left foot up off of the mat and planting it down. Great work. Switch side. Lift the right foot up off the mat and plant it down. That's option 1. Option 2 is to lift the left foot up and then the right, trying to keep both legs close together and parallel off the floor for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Plant the feet, hug the knees, and round the back. Great work. We're going to do that again with one more option as a variation. So again, we lift the heart, zip the knees together, extend the arms, and we start to lean back. And as we're ready, again, we lift either one foot at a time or both feet up off the mat. And the hands can be behind the knees here to take a little bit of weight off. Or maybe you extend the arms by the legs. For 5, 4, you've got this. 3, 2, 1. Go ahead, plant the feet and hug the knees. Whew. Take a couple breaths here, because you know that we got some more work to do. As we feel ready, we set up again the same way. We keep our hearts lifted. We extend our arms and we start to lean back. And here we have a few options. You can lift both legs up and have the hands behind the knees again. You can extend the arms to either side of the legs. Or if you want a little bit more juice, maybe you extend the right leg and then the left for bicycle variations. Let's do 3, right, left, 2, right, left 2 1/4, right, left, last 1, right, left. You did it. Let's this time bring the soles of our feet together and flap our knees up and down. We got a couple more poses to go, and let me just say the next one is easier than the one that we just did. But if you're done, if you're already feeling a little too fried, you can feel free to just chill right here and watch along. If you're moving, we're going to zip the knees back together and set up the same way. So we start out in half boat pose again, taking whatever variation felt good to you, either hands behind the knees or alongside the legs. And this time you can keep your legs as they are, or perhaps you try to start to straighten them, getting them as close to straight as you can, chilling right here for 5. You got this. 4, 3, 2, 1. Plant the feet and hug the knees. Great work, y'all. We got one more variation to go. So from here, we zip the knees together, extend the arms out, and start to lean back with the heart lifted. And let's do a few rounds of, I like to call them like half crunches. So we lean back a little bit, inhale to lift up. Give me 3 more. Lean back and lift up. Last 2, lean back, lift up. Last 1, lean back, lift up. So that's option 1. You can definitely keep rocking with that. Or if you want a little bit more juice, maybe you lift the feet up and start to extend the legs as you lean back, inhaling to bring the knees back towards the chest. Give me 3 more. Extend and bring it in. Last 2, extend and bring it in. Last 1, extend and bring it in. Nice work. Bring the soles of the feet together. Flap the knees up and down in butterfly pose. And I hope you are congratulating yourself, because whatever you just were able to do, it was incredible. I guarantee it. All right. From here, we're going to get moving again. So let's make our way to tabletop pose, however you'd like to get there. Perhaps you cross the ankles and roll over. Do whatever feels good for you. And from tabletop, we make our way back to our downward facing dog. And from downward dog, we dig back in to our dancing warriors. Allow your inhale to lift your right foot up off the mat. We bend the knee and step the foot near the right thumb, rising in to warrior 1. So we plant that back heel and we lift up. Arms extending overhead. This time we open to warrior 2. We begin to face the long edge of the mat. Looking down at the feet, we make sure our front heel and our back arch are roughly in line. Again, we're bending into the front knee, trying to make sure it doesn't go in front of the ankle. We want to try to stack it as much as we can. Our arms are lifted and extending towards the front and back of the mat at shoulder height, making sure the shoulders aren't bunching up towards the ears. Let's bring our gaze over our front middle finger. And from here, we're going to flip our front palm and reverse our warrior, reaching towards the wall behind us, bringing the back hand down the back leg. We inhale back to our warrior 2, and we exhale to side angle, bringing the forearm to the thigh and reaching towards the front of the room. Making sure we don't sink down into that shoulder. You want to press the shoulder away from you and try to rotate that armpit up and open towards the sky. Great work. Let's do 2 more rounds of dancing warrior. Inhale to warrior 2. Exhale to flip it and reverse it. Inhaling to warrior two. Exhaling to find your side angle. Once more, we inhale to warrior two. Keep that front knee bent. We flip it and reverse it. Exhale to your warrior two. And find that side angle. Let your inhale pull you back up to warrior two. And from here, we straighten our burning front leg. And we find our triangle pose. We flip our front palm, reach towards the front of the room, and drop the hand down to the shin, the ankle, or the floor. Reaching our opposite arm up towards the ceiling. You can look up towards the top hand to challenge your balance if that's comfortable for the neck, or down towards the foot if that feels better for you. As you're ready, allow your next inhale to pull you back up to warrior two. And from here, we windmill our hands down to frame the front foot, stepping back to plank pose, either lowering down through our vinyasa or taking it straight back to downward facing dog. And from our downward dog, we inhale to lift the left foot up off of the mat. Bend the knee, step the foot towards the left thumb, and we rise into warrior one on this side. From warrior one, we open towards the long edge of our mat, finding our warrior two on the opposite side. Again, we're bending into the front knee. We're making sure we can see our front big toe. Checking our feet to make sure our front heel and back arch are roughly in line, and reaching those arms towards the front and back of the mat. And from here, we play with our dancing warriors. Let's flip our front palm and reverse our warrior, dropping the hand down the back leg. Inhale to warrior two. Exhale to side angle, making sure we don't sink down into that shoulder, and we rotate the armpit high. Give me two more like that. Inhale to warrior two. We flip it and reverse it. Inhale to warrior two. Exhale to your side angle. Last time here, inhale to warrior two, flip the palm and reverse it. Inhale to warrior two, exhale to your last side angle. From here, we inhale back to warrior two, and we find our triangle. We straighten our front leg, we flip our front palm and reach towards the front of the room, dropping the hand down to wherever feels comfortable on this side. Breathing here for a moment, playing with our gaze if that feels comfortable for you, before allowing your next inhale to pull you back up to your warrior two. From here, we windmill our hands down to frame the front foot, and either step back to plank, move through your vinyasa, or just meet us right back in downward dog. Making sure you're listening to what your body's asking for in this moment. If you need a child's pose, if you need a water break, feel free to take it. Your mat and the practice will be here. From downward facing dog, we bend our knees, look between our hands, and step or hop to the top of the mat. Inhaling our hands to our shins, we find our flat back, heart lifts. Exhaling, we fold. We inhale to reach our arms straight up to the ceiling. We see our palms touch and we fold forward here. Moving through our vinyasa, inhaling to your flat back. You're doing so great. Exhaling, we fold. And either step back through your vinyasa or meet us right back in downward dog. It is your practice. Do whatever your body is asking for. Don't do me, do you. Great. And once you're in downward dog, we're going to add on here and make it a little bit trickier. So on our inhale, we're going to sweep our right foot up off the mat. We bend our knee. This time the foot plants right between both of the hands. And we're not going to plant that back heel. We're going to keep the back heel lifted for crescent lunge. So we inhale to rise up through crescent lunge, keeping the front knee bent, reaching the arms up. And it's okay if you're wobbling. This is a balancing pose here. We're going to make this balancing pose a little bit trickier if you want it. You can chill right here. That's perfectly fine. Or maybe you clasp your hands at your low back, trying for the humble variation here. Inhaling to reach the heart towards the sky. Exhaling to try to fold over the bent knee. Beautiful work. Let's release our clasped hands, rising back through crescent lunge, and then opening to our warrior two. And again, we flip our front palm and reverse our warrior, reaching towards the wall behind us. Inhaling back to warrior two, we exhale to side angle. And we have some options in side angle. Maybe you chill here with the forearm on the thigh, or maybe you reach the hand down towards the ground and reach the opposite arm up towards the ceiling. Wherever you're at, make sure you're pressing your top shoulder back and breathing right here for 3, 2, 1. Allow your next inhale to lift you back up to warrior two. And we exhale to find our triangle pose. We straighten our front leg, reach towards the front of the room and drop the hand down to wherever feels comfortable. From here, we're going to inhale to rise up, keeping the front leg straight, and we're going to reverse our triangle. So we flip our front palm and drop the hands just like in reverse warrior, keeping the front leg straight. Great work. Let's inhale back to our warrior two. Exhale to windmill the hands down and step back to plank pose, or right back to your downward dog. You're doing so great. We are almost done with our standing sequence. And once we're all in downward dog, we repeat on the opposite side. Inhaling to lift the left foot up off of the mat. Exhale to bend the knees, stepping the foot between the hands. We're keeping the back heel lifted, bending into the front knee for crescent lunge, rising on an inhale. And if you'd like, we can try to take that humble variation and make sure that you're playing with it. Make sure that you're not judging yourself here as you clasp your hands at your low back, inhaling to lift the heart, exhaling to fold forward. As we feel ready, we release the clasp and rise up through standing, opening to warrior two. And from warrior two, we take one dancing warrior. We flip our front palm and reverse it, dropping the hand down the back leg. Inhaling back to warrior two, exhaling to side angle. Remembering that we have options now, so you can chill right here, pressing the forearm away from you. Or maybe you slide the hand down to the inner edge of the foot and reach the top arm up for extended side angle. Beautiful. Right here for 3, 2, 1. We inhale to lift ourselves up for warrior two. And we straighten our front leg for triangle pose, flipping our front palm, reaching towards the front of the room, dropping the hand down to wherever feels comfortable, right here. As we're ready, we inhale back up, and we exhale to reverse our triangle, flipping our front palm and reaching back. Inhaling to warrior two, we exhale to windmill our hands down and frame the front foot, making our way back to downward dog, however feels good for you. We're so close to the wind down portion. Make sure that you're checking in with your self-talk, fueling yourself for our last portions of our class. From downward facing dog, we bend our knees, look between our hands, and make our way back to the top of the mat. Inhaling, flat back. Exhaling, we fold. On our next inhale, let's rise up real slow, one vertebrae at a time. So our head is the last thing to come up. Great work. Let's prepare for some balancing. So we start in mountain pose. It may look like we're just standing up, but make sure your belly is engaged. You're thinking about engaging your quads, lifting your kneecaps up and back, bringing our heart forward. Nice. And from mountain pose, we move into tree. So let's lift and plant our left toes. That's your tree trunk. With your right foot, you have options. Either bring the right heel to the left ankle, maintaining engagement in the core. Maybe the sole of the foot comes underneath the knee. If you're feeling particularly open, the sole of the foot can come above the knee into the inner thigh, making sure you don't poke your left hip out. Find something still to focus on and bring your palms to touch at heart center. And it's fine if you're wobbling. That means your body is learning the pose. As you feel ready, perhaps you bring your palms to touch and raise them overhead. Maybe you grow your branches, full tree. Great work. From here, we bring our arms up by our ears. We take what we like to call Karate Kid. We flip our wrists like we just shot a three-pointer. Take our bent leg in front of us. And we stay here. If you want to make it a little trickier, you can do a couple little kicks. That's what my teens love to do. And as we're ready, we move into Warrior 3. So we straighten out our arms. And nice and slow, can you start to lean forward? Start to straighten that leg out and send it behind you. It's okay if it doesn't go all the way straight. Breathe right here for 3, 2, 1. And then slowly, can you inhale to straighten back out, standing up, planting that right foot. Great work. Let's shake out our left ankle. Roll it around a few times. All those little muscles and bones just held your body weight. Pretty impressive. And now we switch sides. We lift and plant the right toes. And we bring the left foot to wherever feels comfortable on this side. Again, being aware of that right hip, making sure we don't poke it out. Bringing the palms to touch at heart center as we feel ready. And when you would like, go ahead and grow those branches. Bringing the arms up overhead, maybe opening the arms. And next, we find our Karate Kid. Arms come straight up by the ears, flip the wrist, and we take that bent leg in front of us. Feel free to do a couple kicks if you did on the other side. And then you know where we're going. Hands go straight up and nice and slow. Slow and steady wins the race. We start to lean forward and send that leg straight back behind us. Just reach right here for 3, 2, 1. Letting your inhale pull you all the way up. We plant the left foot and shake out the right ankle, thanking it for all of its hard work. Great. And from here, we make our way back down to the mat through a vinyasa. Let's inhale both arms up, looking up to see the palms touch. And we exhale to fold forward. Inhaling, hands to shins, heart lifts. Exhaling, we fold. Let's bend our knees, plant our palms, and step back to plank pose. This time we're going to drop our knees down and find tabletop pose. From tabletop pose, we're going to roll over our ankles and send both of our legs straight out in front of us for some seated forward folds. So here we want to make sure our feet are flexed, toes going up towards the ceiling, and the spine is nice and tall for staff pose. On our next inhale, we reach both arms up overhead. And as we exhale, we fold forward over both of our straightened legs. If you have something you could use as a strap here, like a scarf or a belt, you might want to wrap it around the balls of the feet. Remember to try to keep your heart lifted so we're not rounding the back here. We're going to be here for about 5 more breaths. Know that the point is not to get your hands to your toes or your nose to your knees. We're just exploring the sensation in the hamstrings. Sending our body some love and appreciation for all of its hard work. Allow your next inhale to lift both arms up, and let's bring the sole of the left foot to touch the right thigh. Inhaling, we reach both arms straight up. Exhaling, we fold over this straightened leg. Again, we rest here for 5 breaths, making sure we're not rounding the back. thanking our body for all of its hard work. And if the mind wanders, that's okay. Just gently bring it back to the breath. Allow this next inhale to lift you up. And we switch sides, extending the opposite leg in front of us, bringing the opposite foot in. Inhaling to find length. Exhaling to fold forward. You may notice that one side is a little tighter than the other, and that's totally normal. We like symmetry, but our bodies don't know too much about it. So if this side is tighter than the other side, make sure you ease in and give it what it needs, knowing that our bodies are different every day. Allow your next inhale to pull you up. And again, we fold over both of our straightened legs. Trying to observe if it's a little bit easier now that we've stretched each leg individually. And it's fine if it's not. And as we're ready, we're going to slide our hands up our legs, making our way back to staff pose. And from here, we're going to roll down onto our backs. If you want to put in some more work, you can roll down nice and slow, getting in as much core work as possible until the very end. So with our feet planted, let's take our feet so they are mat's width distance apart. And just windshield wiper your knees from side to side. A couple of times. And the next time your knees drop over to the right, let them fall all the way over. Bringing your gaze over your left shoulder. And maybe coming into goalpost arms or bringing your arms out by your side. You're trying to keep your right shoulder pinned down to the mat as you rest here in your spinal twist for 4 more breaths. Allow your next inhale to pull your knees up and exhale to drop them in the opposite direction. This time bringing your gaze over your right shoulder, keeping the left shoulder pinned down to the mat. For 4 breaths on this side. When you feel complete, let your next inhale pull your knees back up, planting the feet back down on the mat. For a couple more stretches right here. Let's start by sending our right leg straight up to the ceiling. First, just pointing and flexing the foot a few times. And then the next time the foot is flexed, go ahead and clasp your hands behind your thigh, gently bringing the leg a little bit closer to the body. Your head, neck, and shoulders might want to pop up here. Make sure they're planted firmly down on the ground. And we're going to be here for a few breaths, so feel free to ease yourself into it. And now, if you'd like a little more sensation, maybe you crawl your hands a little bit closer to your foot. Or you can keep them exactly where they are, if that's comfortable for you. Remaining here for 3, 2, 1. Let's release our hands and let our right ankle find our left knee for figure 4 back release. So from here, keeping both feet flexed, we lift our left foot into the air. And you have some options. You can wrap your hands around the shin. If you have a strap, you can wrap it around the shin as well and hold both ends. Or maybe you interlace your hands around that left thigh and gently bring the legs a little closer to your body, exploring the sensation in the right hip. If you'd like a little more hip opening, maybe you press your right elbow into your right leg, letting that tension open the hip a little bit more. For 2 more breaths right here. As you feel ready, release your clasped hands, plant your left foot, and then your right. Observing the difference between both sides. Before we repeat on the left side, sending our left leg straight up, pointing and flexing. And the next time the foot's flexed, we clasp our hands behind the left thigh. Knowing that we have a few breaths here, so no need to rush in and go too deep too quickly. By slowing down, we're able to find our edge point and honor where our body's at in this moment. If you'd like to, maybe now you slide your hands a little closer to your foot if you'd like some more sensation. And when you feel complete, release the hands and let the left ankle find the right knee for figure 4 back release. We lift the right foot up off the mat, keeping the feet flexed, and you know your options. Maybe you play around with them to see what this side is asking for. As we feel complete, we release our hands and take any final pose that your body's asking for. Before laying down in Shavasana. You can take as long as you'd like in Shavasana. You can even cut this video off and rest here. Taking this opportunity to connect to your breath, your body, or your intention. And if your mind wanders, that's okay. Just gently bring your awareness back to your breath, your body, or your intention for our final minute in Shavasana. And again, if you'd like to, feel free to pause the video and take as long of a Shavasana as you'd like. Or if you're ready, perhaps you gently wiggle your fingers and toes, inviting sensation back into your body. And stretch your arms and legs in opposite directions, as though you're waking up for the second time today, with the opportunity for a fresh start. From here, gently roll on to your right side, resting there again, as though you're laying in your bed, about to wake up for the second time today. And when you feel complete, make your way to a comfortable seated position, with eyes closed at the top of your mat. As we prepare for our closing invocation. we bring our palms to touch at heart center. At the end of this and every practice, we thank our bodies for all that they do to get us to and through our day. So often we treat our bodies as though it's a problem that needs to be solved. But really, they're miraculous beings, doing millions of things every day to keep us functional. We thank ourselves for showing up, prioritizing self-care, and we take a moment to connect to our larger community. We send some of the positivity we cultivated to others in our community, in our city, in other states, and all over the world beyond all borders. And finally, we bow our chin to our chest. Honoring the light within us, we bow and say, Namaste. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with us, and we hope to see you again soon. Namaste.